Good day, podcast community. I'm Pete Kane, known as Podcast Pete. Glad to be with you. This is a podcast on high performance coaching, mentoring, guiding you. So if you're not interested in 10x growth, scaling your business, this won't be relevant to you. But if you want to, this next year, scale your business, grow your business, you're not going to be able to do it unless you have a high performance coach. And I'm going to give you a little bit of context to this because I want to share with you how important having a coach can be for your growth. And so let's go to, let me see, here we go. Okay, Podcast Pete, that's my information. But I'm going to take you 3 tips. And the reason I want to take you on this because it is a mindset shift. And the reason I'm going to give you 3 tips on this because I want you to grasp why it's so important. We're at the biggest transfer of one generation or one economy to another. We're going from the final stages of the industrial to the digital economy. And what does that mean to you? That means to you, you better be thinking digitally, digital assets to be very specific. And we have a plan, an ecosystem that we have created with a lot of my mentors and my partner who's up in Canada. So together we're better, but you have to understand why this makes so much sense. So first, I want to give this analogy. The first step is really understanding if you're going to climb Mount Everest, which we're on this slide, and I want to give you an analogy of Mount Everest. You say, okay, Pete, I want to climb Mount Everest. Okay, but I want to do it by myself. Okay, how are you going to do it? I'm just going to climb it. I'm just going to grin and bear it. I have incredible willpower. I can do it. I've been training. I can do it. Okay. So are you familiar with what base camps mean? No, I've never heard of it. Okay. Do you know that there's basically 4 base camps to Mount Everest that you climb one at a time? And it takes relatively about 2 weeks to do it. How long are you going to take to climb it? Oh, I haven't figured that out. Oh, you haven't? You're going to climb Mount Everest and you don't know what your plan is? How do you think you're going to get there? Do you think it's just going to be by accident that you're going to figure it out? Absolutely not. You're going to hire a guide. You're going to go with a group of people, a community. And your first goal is find a guide that's going to be experienced. You're going to ask them, so what kind of experience do you have climbing Mount Everest? Well, I've done it 300 times. And successfully, I've done X amount of people. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a high performance guide. That's the kind of person I want. And so, first you select the guide. And in our case, I wanted to think of coaches. Can you get a coach that decides he just wants to be a coach or she wants to be a coach? Sure, you can pick it. Can they be good? Well, they're better than not hiring a coach. But if you want to scale Mount Everest, you want the best. You want the best guide. If you're like you have a movie and you want to find a director, direct your movie, you think you just go, I just want somebody to just kind of walk us through. No, you want a Steven Spielberg. You want the top. That's why high performance coaching is by the High Performance Institute. I am certified by the High Performance Institute and Brendan Bouchard. Google him. He's the most successful, highest paid coach in the world. And he's earned it. 20 plus years of doing this. A community of 500,000 people worldwide, 190 countries. Do you think that's a high performer? You better believe it is. And so that's the kind of person you want to hire. Now, Can you hire them? Well, if you got $1 million, you can. But if you don't, that's not an option. So you have to look at certified people, certified in the strategy to be a high performance coach. So you want to get the best. And so let's talk about Mount Everest now. 5 moves to base camp number one. Why is that important? Because one, you want your team, your community of people that are encouraging and working together. And that guide, high performance guide, is going to say, hey, our first goal is base camp number one. It's going to take us 3 days. And when we get there, we're going to do this. I mean, we're going to make 5 major moves to get there. So that person's going to guide you through to get to base camp number one. When you get to base camp number one, that's just 25% of the journey. So now what happens? Well, the weather changed. The business climate changed. AI's coming in. All these other factors, distractions, that's coming in. So what does he say or she say? We're going to go up the west side of the mountain instead of the east. I had planned to go up the east, but we're making a strategic move. Why are we making that move? The weather's changed. And it's going to be near impossible to go up the east side because of the weather change. So we're going up the west. So she basically, whoever it is, he or she, saved your life. Because if you go up and go into turbulent weather, plenty of people have died climbing Mount Everest. So in a business, it's bankruptcy. So you're risking bankruptcy. That's the death of a business. In Mount Everest, I'm going up the west side. So a high performance coach is going to say, hey, here's the strategy that we have that I know we can get you there. That's our ecosystem. That's not my ecosystem. It's put together with my partner and I and numerous other people that make up the ecosystem. So you can go to peatkane.me/masterclass and you can take that for free. Understand that you have to have an ecosystem, and the ecosystem is critical for the success of your business, especially in next year when everything is going to change. AI's hitting full gun. We've got a new political climate in Washington. We've got a new energy in this country. We got great leadership, whether you believe in it is or not. It doesn't matter what you believe. It's what's going to happen. So you can choose to sit on one side or the other, but it's going to change. So in this case, you're making big moves, making small steps, big moves and small steps to get there. Strategically, you're getting your goal with your high performance guide or coach is to get to the base camp number one. So he and she, whoever your guide is going to get you there. If you try to do it by yourself, you risk death. And in this case, in business, you risk bankruptcy. You risk not even being around. Because the way AI is coming into this world, there's going to be winners and losers. Which one do you want to be? Who do you want to guide you starting next year? You're going to reset your goals. Do you have specific goals set? Do you have a plan for personal development? Do you have an assessment that you can generate leads for your business? Do you have a podcasting platform that can help you get digital content out there? Do you have a digital course? All these things are critical for you to be successful and to survive the transition that's going to hit people like a freight train. And you want to be on the train, not hit by the freight train. So, in this case, let's go a little bit higher on this. Let's move up here. The second one, you're going to go to base camp 2. So there's a strategy to get up that mountain. And each time it's a different strategy. That's why a coach, a high performance coach, is going to give you the best chance to win. Now, Do you want to say to yourself, I can do it by myself? Let's go to sports. Michael Jordan, I love telling this story. He was a proficient scorer coming out of North Carolina. He scores a lot of points at Chicago. I think he was a scoring champion a couple times. But has he won an NBA yet? No, because he was just a good scorer, great basketball player. But then a great high performance coach came into his life. What was the outcome? 6 national championships. What did that coach do? He built a team around him. We're building community around you. So the team, Dennis Rodman, Steve Kerr, Bill Cartwright, we think who else? Dennis Rodman, Bill Cartwright, Steve Kerr. There was a couple others. But he built a team around him. The results? 6 national championships. What happens? He gets recruited by the Lakers. He goes out to LA. Same philosophy, same system, just a little bit better. He's got another challenge now because that's what business is about, challenges. You don't anticipate them. He's got the Shaq, incredible talent, big, dominating. And then you got the late Kobe Bryant. How do they work together? Have you ever had it in your business, 2 extremely talented, big egos? How do you get them to work together? Well, that takes a high-performance coach. And what did Phil do? He implemented his system, his flow, his way of doing things. What happens? 5 championships. So 11 total, plus 2 championships as a player. Is he a high-performance coach? You better believe he is. And his results speak for itself. I had a gentleman, very talented guy, and I was asking him if he wanted a strategy session. I don't need coaching. Have you seen my resume? I said, well, not, I mean, I know you. It was on my podcast. I don't need a coach. What if Michael Jordan would have said, I don't need a coach. I can do it by myself. Is he going to be able to bring Dennis Rodman in, Steve Kerr, Bill Cartwright, build a team around him? Of course not. He's a good player, but not the best coach. And it showed when he went to Charlotte. Good player, but didn't transition to a great coach. Different skill sets. Phil was both a good player, but a great coach. So the other one was great player, good coach. You got to be great at everything you do. So that's why it's so important when you're looking for the mentor, the guide, the coach, ask the questions. What kind of credentials? Not just certified, but yes, certified makes a difference. Who certified them? Is it the National Association of Coaches, which they just take an online course maybe? I don't know, but I'm just surmising. Or is it a certified high-performance coach who has 20 years coaching people, who coaches people at the $1 million level, who's coached billionaires, celebrities, top Olympic athletes, the who's who of performers, because they want the best, they can afford the best, they perform the best, and they want a person. So if a person has a philosophy, a certification, a framework, and he teaches people his framework, you don't have to pay $1 million. You can pay less, but get the same framework. So when you're scaling a mountain, when you want to scale your business, you want to hire the best high performance coach you can afford. And when you do that, you're putting yourself in the best position to climb the mountain. And the mountain is business. And this year, Let me see if I can go to this. This year, we are changing more than we've ever changed in our lifetime. AI is turning the whole world upside down. I should take that. Darn, I have that on there. Okay. But anyway, want you to go to pkane.me/masterclass. This is my free gift to you. This masterclass is our ecosystem. 10 very powerful ways to scale your business, but put them all together and we'll coach you because we're looking for 20 people, first of the year, starting now. These are people that want to commit to an hour a week for a podcast. For coaching strategy and another commitment for building the content. So if that's something you don't want to do, then don't do it. But if you can commit to that, we can transform your business because we want 20 success stories. And that's what we're looking for right now. So if you feel that you are somebody that wants to find out more about it, well, here's what you can do. Yes, I think, let me see. I know I can get this up here. Yeah. Take our assessment. That's the first step of our ecosystem. Go to pkane.me, select the avatar that suits you. Business that wants to scale, an entrepreneur business that wants to grow and scale their business by 10x. 2, if you're a nonprofit and you want to scale and grow your nonprofit for greater impact on your community. Or if you're a corporate professional and you're seeing the world changing and we're going to be downsizing everywhere and you could be displaced, you don't want to wait till you're unemployed. You want to do it now. Now's the time to learn to be an entrepreneur. Your skills can transfer to a certain degree, but getting a steady paycheck is different than making it happen every single day. And that's what the life of an entrepreneur is. There's nothing predictable. It's always changing. You got to make it happen every single day. You got to look in the mirror and you got to make it happen. When you have a corporate job, there's a different mindset. It's a mindset, the paycheck's coming in anyway this Friday. Maybe I take the day off. Hey, as an entrepreneur, you don't do that. You don't take the day off. You give it everything you have and you keep getting better and better and better because the market pays you on your value. Once you figure out that formula, and it's called 7-11-4. Remember that number, 7-11-4. People online in a digital mind have to consume 7 hours of you. Whether it's a podcast, an online course, a book, a white paper, an assessment, all those are things that a person has to consume. And once they do, they know you better. But they got to make 11 buying signals. And that's the 0 moment of truth. It's made famous by Google. Once you make 11 buying signals, and what is a signal? It's saying, I want more. An assessment is the first part of it. So if somebody fills out your assessment, they're raising their hand saying, I'm interested. But that's not, you have to keep going. They have to consume 7 hours of you. So you have to go online, search Pete Kane podcast, because that's kind of like my middle initial. I like telling the story of Stephen A. Smith. If he was just Stephen Smith, the ESPN, he's a world-class sports commentator. If he was just Stephen Smith, who would know? You wouldn't know. It's Stephen A. Smith because it's a name that he's branded. He's known for what? He's known for a no-nonsense commentary. He's going to tell you what he thinks. Authentic. Maybe it hurts. Maybe it doesn't. But you're going to get the truth from him. You're not going to get the political truth from our now president, our president right now, which you got to tell the truth. Tell the truth. You build your reputation by doing what you say. If you say you're not going to pardon a person, don't do it. I don't care what the circumstance. Don't say it if you don't want to do it. I love how they're now really putting his feet to the fire because lying is your reputation. And in business, it is everything. In government, it's whatever you want to tell people. That's why the approval rating for politicians is so low because they don't do what they say they're going to do. But in business, your reputation is everything. Your reputation is everything. So do what you say you're going to do. Your word is everything, and your brand is everything. Because once people have confidence in your brand, they'll spend more because they know they'll get results from what they're doing. When they're not thinking they can get results, they're not going to spend what they need to spend. So what you do in your business, whether it's a high performance mindset, that's a mindset that you're going to get there if you follow the strategy of the high performance coach. So go take a free assessment. Go. That's our first step of step number 1 of our 10 ecosystem. Then if you want to go, what's your ecosystem? Go to PeteKane.me masterclass, take it for free. And that way you can understand our ecosystem. Could you do it by yourself? Sure. You absolutely could. Would you want to? I don't know. I wouldn't. It's going to move so fast. In the next year or two, you want a high performance coach. You want somebody that knows the lay of the land, has an ecosystem like we do. And when you want to learn AI, go to the 9th step of the ecosystem and take Jeff Borshaw's free course. You can get a free assessment. So there's a lot of things for free, but when you want to climb that mountain, you pay a guide. You pay him top dollar because your life's on the line. Make a bad move, go up the east side of the mountain, the weather changes, and you're frozen to death. In business, you're out of business. So that's the decision you need to make and think about is, do I want to perform and take advantage of what's happening and what's coming? So we have, I won't have it today, but probably by tomorrow, we're looking for 20 people out of our community. We have 300 plus that have taken a podcast, not taken, that have had a podcast. That I like to hear people's story. I can see where their heart is. When I can see where their heart is, I know if they're the type of people that would fit into our community. And if they're not, hey, look, I'm not interested in takers in our community. I want givers. I want people to make an impact. I want people who want to grow by 10x, that want to scale their business and make a greater impact on their self, on their business, on their community, and on their world. That's what we're looking for. And we're not looking for everybody. So we have 3 avatars. Go to PeteKane.me. Select your avatar depending on what you're doing personally. Then take that assessment. And then we'll have a conversation because, one, if you haven't been on my podcast, that's the first step. You can't go to step 3 without going through our ecosystem because you got to understand it for one. And we want to see good people that want to scale and grow their business by 10x. That's a different mindset than person that just wants to grow. So we're looking for the high achievers. That's why I'm a high performance coach. And I'm going to collaborate with other high performance coaches to get that want to scale. When they want to scale, they're our kind of people. So if this is something that you're interested in, or you know somebody, because this is the High Performance Coach podcast, if you know somebody, share this with somebody because you have an unbelievable opportunity, an opportunity that's going to be the biggest opportunity in your lifetime. I'm 67, so I know it's in my lifetime now. And it's, even if you're 87, it's going to be in your lifetime too. Now, if you're 25, you don't have that frame of reference really to see how big it is, but you do know how technology is changing. You probably have used AI. You know how powerful it's going to be. It's only this. It's 80%. I want you to think. Be careful not to just listen to a soundbite out there. Like, it's going to eliminate the world, or it's going to be the end of the world, whatever. There's two sides to everything. It's going to make you faster, more effective, more productive. It's going to do 80%. You still got to do your 20%. It's kind of like you get a good idea. You can't just take somebody else's idea. That's plagiarism. But you got to make it your own. Same with AI. You can use AI like we've used to create courses. We get the meat, but we still got to step in there and give it our 20%. That's where, if you understand that principle, you're going to do quite well. So, anyway, thank you so much for being with us. Go to petekane.me, take our assessment, then you can get our free class at petekane.me/masterclass. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for your time. Let's climb a Mount Everest. Use this metaphor for your business. You want to get to the top? You need a high performance coach. And if you have a high performance coach, you increase your chances of getting to the top of your business tenfold. Thank you so much.